All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the ECX Grand Finale. Today, we'll be talking about presenting like a pro, and we have Eniola with us. Eniola is an accounting professional with interest in finance, management, consulting, data science, and research. She's a graduate from the She Code Africa Mentorship Program, the data science track, and she leads the Human Resources Division at the Investment Society. She's currently at Fred Fort Consulting, a business intelligence consulting firm, and she's an incoming analytics intern at KPMG. Today, Eniola will be talking to us about how to present like a pro. I'm really looking forward to this one because personally for me, I'm looking at learning how to present better. Hi, Eniola. How are you today?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I can go on, right, Sadiq?
Yes, please, you can proceed.
Okay. Okay, so I'll start sharing my screen right now. Okay, so can you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm Eniola Ogumono, and I'll be taking us through presenting like a pro for the Engineering Career Expo Grand Finale session. So a bit about me before we delve into that. Like Sadiq said, I'm studying to become an accounts professional. I have interest in data science, finance, research, and management consulting. And all these interests have led me to delve into various societies, various communities that are also interested in these, like She Code Africa, the Investment Society. Well, aside all that, I'm learning French. I think I want to be part of the team that is going to Japan soon. So I'm already preparing my load for that. So I'm currently learning French. I enjoy visiting historic sites and then also walking my dog. So down here, you can see a picture of me and then of my cute little dog. His name is Rocky. He's an American Eskimo. Okay, so down to business, we'll be going on into what we have for today. Please, if you have any comments, any questions, you need me to go slower, you need me to go faster, please just pop it up in the chat box. I'll just open that up so that I can, Sadiq, once it's popped in the chat box, just unmute your mic and read it out to me. I'm not able to see the chat currently, but please drop everything you need to have answered in the chat box. Thanks. Okay, now.
All right, sure. I'll let you present any questions.
Thank you, Sadiq. Presenting like a pro, the first thing you need to know is structure, structure, structure. I have to mention that 3 times because that's like the basic, the structure of your presentation. How do you want it to go? How do you want it to build? What is the flow? So now structure includes fonts. Which type of fonts do you want to use? Do you want to use a regular Calibri? Do you want to use Arial? Or other beauty cursive fonts, or that dancing scripts or something like that. Now, font is very important because it has to do with the visibility of your presentation. It's not really about the beautification, it's about the visibility, the legibility. Can the people, your audience, be able to read through easily? Do they have to squint? So I recommend using the regular Arial, Cambry, or Calibri. So then next we talk about the size. So now you have a legible font. You also want to have a suitable size. So the ideal size is usually 12. It could be bigger, it could be smaller. Therefore, title, it starts from 20, size 20, while for the body of your slides, it starts from 12. Then color. Color is a very important one because you want your color to be together. You want your slides to look presentable. You don't want different colors popping up here, popping up there, causing distraction to your audience. So now here for the ECX Career Expo, I know their colors are red, yellow, and blue. So I decided to adopt that with the neutral colors, that's black and white. So now you have to be very careful in picking your colors, pick colors that flow together so that your audience will be distracted by what you throw on out there. It's not about the beautification. The point of your slides is to pass the message across. So you don't want anything else on your slide to do anything against that. So now we have alignment, and that has to do with the way your slides are arranged. It has to do with the way your slides are arranged. So you don't want something to be messed up. You don't want something up here, another one down there. So you want to be able to align them. So let me show you something about alignment. So if you see me moving this, you can see this in the red. So it's telling me it's in the same space as the red. So yes, they're aligned. Even look at this other one as well. They're aligned. So this is more like a ruler for you to understand how to align your icons, your text on the screen. Okay, so it's back to aligned now. So now I'll talk about templates. So templates is it helps you better build your slides. Your templates, you already have the color you want to use, you have a particular design you want to follow through. And then there's something in PowerPoint. So if you go to this design here, you're going to see some templates here. So you can take a look at this template, see how this changes it. This changes it. So the template is more about regularity, more about the flow, to have the same flow, the same design. Like I said, you don't want something popping up here and there causing distraction. So that's what templates are about, to put together your presentation in a smooth flow. Now we go on to the title. So title is your main message. What does your body of the slide cover? So once someone look like, now here's my title, structure. So that's my title. What is your presentation about? What is that about? So that's very important. Your title should be able to capture every single thing you want to talk about in your message. Now charts are another way of passing across your messages, and you can find that in the insert menu tab. Insert, so charts here. So we have various charts. We have the column charts, we have the line charts, pie charts, area charts. So different charts according to your needs. Do you want to compare two different variables? Column chart is good for that. Do you want to see the changes across time? The line chart is very good for that. Okay. So you can learn more about what various charts are used for and be able to choose the one that's most suitable for what the message you're trying to pass across. Now, the next thing is the body or the main message. So now this is what you want, the message you want to pass across to your audience. What do you want your audience to know? What story do you want to tell? What information do you want to pass across? So here you have to focus on context. Context is very important here, and details. And then source has to do with when you're giving, like in your body or main message, you gave a fact, you gave a figure. You want to be able to put a credible source. Okay, so where did I get this information I gave you this figure? Where is it from? So some credible sources are World Bank. Top organizations are the most credible sources. Wikipedia is not a credible source. So please don't put Wikipedia in your source. So please just put credible organizations, the research they found as your source, and it's usually put at the footer down here. So I'm not giving any facts or figures, and that's why you can see an example of me putting a source right here at the footer. Now, pyramid approach. Now, this is very important when you're going through your story, when you're building your slides. So pyramid approach just says how different individuals in an organization will be able to go through your presentation. So we have 3 people, 3 steps of the pyramid. That's the executive, like the CEO. Then we have the managers, like a senior manager, the frontline workers, maybe just like an accountant like me. So now a senior manager, the executive, that's the CEO, he doesn't have so much time to sit on your presentation. He has just 5 minutes to go through your presentation. So in 5 minutes, if he looks in your presentation, is he going to get the main thing of what you're talking about? And that's where your title comes in. And then there's what we call the executive summary that gives that on the first page, gives an overview of everything you want to talk about. Now, title, I said your title must capture the main message of your whole topic of your whole body. So now if an executive goes through all your slides little by one, just looking at the title, really understand what your presentation is about, really be able to say, yes, I understand what people are presenting to me. I'm able to make a decision based on the little I've seen. So that's the topmost part of the pyramid. Now the next part is the managers. So we're talking about senior managers. So they have a little more time to go through your presentation. So the title is important to them, yes. But then the next thing that is important to them is what you call the evidence or the main message. So now, what do you have to back up what you've put in the title? So in the title, you say, oh, electric vehicles are going to, the use of electric vehicles are going to escalate over 20% in the next 5 years. So now what evidence do you have to back that up? So the senior managers will be able to look into that. Now we have the last approach, which is the frontline workers, maybe an accountant, a salesperson that is usually working on the day-to-day job. Now that person is able to sit down in details because what he does every day. So you really want to understand, okay, so now you say this, how can that really help me? How can I really work with what you have to show me? So now they are able to go through your presentation in detail. So they won't just look at your title and your evidence. They also look at where you got from your source, the details, the explanation behind your charts, the explanation behind your points. So they are ready to sit and look through that. So you have to keep those 3 people in mind when you are making your slides: the top line executives, the managers, and then the frontline workers. Okay. So now moving on to kind of like the design parts. So shapes are everything. Everything you need in your PowerPoint is all about shapes. Your templates are made of shapes. Your text, you have your text box is in a shape form where you can put in your text. Now, if you go to the insert menu bar, click on shapes, and then you have so many different shapes you could use to actually portray anything you want. You used to make your infographics, you used to point out your facts, your figures, used to beautify your design. Okay, so after my short presentation, we're going into live making of slides. Okay, so now after shapes, now this is like the most important part, and I call it stories make them pop. So now what does stories make pop? Your presentation. How you tell your story is the most important thing. No one wants to see what you've laid on your slides, your beautiful shapes, your colors, your fonts. That's not the point. It's the story, the way you're able to put everything you put together, be able to relate it back to who you're speaking with, to who you actually prepared this for, your audience, your clients, whoever it is. That's what is most important. So now stories are what you call a logical flow of messages that all put together answers the main issue. So now at the beginning, I said my topic is presenting like a pro. Yours could be something else. And now, so everything we've put together in your slides, how are you able to transition through them and able to answer the main issue, presenting like a pro, reducing waste in the next 2 years? How are you able to put all that stories together to relate back to the thing you said you're talking about? So now here are some questions you should ask yourself. Is it logical? Does it flow one by one? Can someone put it all together? Now, do we understand the transition to this between these messages? Are you jumping from here to here? Or you're not? So they're supposed to be like number 1, number 2, number 3. So that's how it's meant to go. Now, any overlapping messages. So if we talk about something in number 1, you shouldn't talk about it in number 2 anymore, or something similar. So make sure your points are different. They are different. Do not say the same points twice. Now, when you okay, am I breaking up? Saying my connection is unstable. Am I breaking up?
Okay, not really. We can still hear you.
Okay. So now the last one is, can we understand what you're saying without looking at the slides? So now, if someone decides not to log into the video call, he wants to listen to you over audio while you're making your pitch, while you're making your presentation, can the person understand what you're saying without looking at the slides? That's how important stories are when you're hearing the audio version. Can they get every single thing, the facts you mentioned, the figures you mentioned, your evidence? Can they be able to take that home? Okay. So now, common mistakes. Reading from the slide verbatim. So now the slides is not your notebook where you throw everything on there and read back to the audience. No, it's to aid you while presenting. It's to aid you while you're making your presentation. Now, looking at the slides while presenting, so maybe this is more applicable in physical presentation, but also in the virtual presentation as well. So I'll talk about it from the physical angle and then the virtual angle. So looking at the slides while presenting. So you're in a virtual or you're in a physical space and you're facing your audience. Your slide is probably behind you. You shouldn't be looking back at your slide you're presenting. You should be able to face the audience. You should know what's behind you at the slide. I'll be able to relate that to your audience while facing them. So looking at the slide doesn't project connection. You create a disconnect with the people you're trying to speak to. Now, failing to engage the audience. So it's very important that your audience follow you along. So if you need to pause for questions, if you need to make eye contact, that's very important. Now, presenting an unstructured way. So that is where you talk about logic and transition between your messages. So make sure they go together. They are accordingly planned. Now, going too fast or going too slow. So both are a problem. So your audience should be able to capture all what you're saying. Shouldn't be too fast, it shouldn't be too slow, just right. All right, so I've come to the end of my presentation. Any questions before I move on to the live presentation? So it's time to go into the live presentation, how we're going to create a slide like a pro in less than 15 minutes. So let me take some questions before then.
All right, thank you so much, Eniola. I think for me, the key point I've been able to pick is that structure is really super important in when we are trying to present whatever we are presenting. But the question I have is that if you say Wikipedia is not a good source, so how then do I know what a good source is when I'm trying to look for data to back the information that I am trying to reference in my presentation?
Okay, so it depends on what you're looking for. For example, okay, let me go to my Google. So if you're working in an organization, it's more easier for you to get good sources of information. But if you're working on a self-project and you're just doing something freelance, it's harder to find free good sources. So some of them are paid for. So you have to kind of like scrape the internet to get good sources. So for example, let's say we want to know about companies in the energy industry. That's the clean energy industry, so solar energy. So we want to know facts about the solar energy system. So I can just say solar energy in Africa. Let's just see what comes up. So that's when you start from something very generic.
I think you probably need to reshare your screen so that we can see the window that you are sharing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. So can you see my screen now?
Yes, definitely I can.
Okay, so I just Googled solar energy in Africa. So I'm seeing it's a credible organization. I can see Brookings.edu. Brookings.edu is a reputable university. I can see IMF, Wikipedia. I'm not going to look into that, but sometimes you could get good information from Wikipedia actually. And that's from their resources. The resources. Now I can even see, okay, let's go to Wikipedia and look at in the resources section, references, I mean. So now in the references, you could pick some good sources to go for. You just go in there. Okay, I'm not seeing one. So Okay, so now I can see IEA. IEA is it's a community for electricity. I think International Electric Agency or something. So now here, this NESA is another organization about electricity. So that's how we just dig. So now, as simple as solar power in Africa, I'm already seeing reports coming up from the UN. I'm already seeing reports coming up from IMF. So if I keep digging like that, I'm going to see more credible sites to go for. So you start from something very generic, then you dig down. So I don't know if I answered your question, Sadiq.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. Please, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. I'll try to catch Eniola up on them while she continues with the rest of the workshop.
Okay, so does anyone want to suggest a topic we should create? We should try to create a very awesome slides. Does anyone have a topic in mind? You can just pop it up on the chat box, or you're mute. Yeah, it's okay if you're mute as well. Okay, 10 seconds. Look at, okay, Polusha says fundamentals of leadership. Leadership 101, fundamentals of leadership. I like that. I like that topic. Okay, so I'm just going to grab that. I don't seem to be able to copy and paste. I'll just type it out. So does anyone want to define, okay, let's talk about structure. Leadership 101, fundamentals of leadership. So what should this encompass? What should this, more like subtopics, what subtopics should be under this? This is the main topic. What other subtitles we have? I know we should have a definition. I know we should have examples of people that, ideal examples of leaders. I know you can say types of leaders as well. So does anyone want to pop up more subtitles, or we should just work with the ones we have? So I like putting my title down here. I like putting it down here. Then it's important that you say who is presenting it, or you can say prepared by, maybe it's a leadership organization that is doing this. So Folusha is the name. So F Consults. Okay. Today's 15th. Okay. So now this is something very basic. So we have to look for a shape to pop this up. So just make this more lively. Okay, I'm going to use a square. Yeah. Then I'm just going to color this. Okay, so I'm choosing green. So we are going to be using colors related to green, or that we can mix with green. And that's gray. I think gray goes well. Black also goes. Okay. So what else do I want to do to pop this up? can use this. So I'm just going to move this to the back with the arrange button sent to the back. So this comes up and my green is here again. So I want to change this, the color of the font to white. So readability is the key, not just beautification, readability. So I want to believe F Consult has a logo that we could just put in the middle somewhere here. So let's just move on. We are done with the cover page. Now the title. We want to make it catchy. So you can say, who is a leader? Who is a leader? Okay. Trying to add some background to this. I just use a triangle. Then I'll go for my green color again. Okay, so I want to rotate this. Yes, this is how I want it. So I just rotated my triangle to fit that. So who is a leader? So I can just quickly do a Google search of who is a leader. I can do a quick Google search of who is a leader, then copy and paste that. Okay, so I like this. Just going to take the very first one. So now I have to customize this to the text I want. So I want the black text, and then I want it smaller. I prefer using the Arial font. So I'm using the Arial font of Pro. You could choose your own suitable fonts as well. I think 16 is clear enough. Now I don't just want this to be like this. I don't want it to just be like this. I'm going to put a background text, a background color, I mean, and that's going to be light green. Light green, yeah, this is it. Now this is who a leader is. So we can even do something like this. Okay, so I don't take much space, I utilize my space. I'm going to do this. Yeah, so Felicia, please work on that logo and send ASAP as soon as possible. Okay, so since I'm just putting one definition of a leader right here, I can't go to the next slide because this other space is just wasted and it doesn't just make sense. It doesn't just make sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of this page. So what I'm doing, I'm going to draw another text box here. I can just say characteristics. And please, if you need me to expand on something or you're not getting what I'm doing, please do let me know. I know I'm just showing you the demo. I'm not really talking through it. I'll try to do that. Okay, so now here, I actually don't want to use bullet points. When you say characteristics, you can use bullet points. Oh yeah, why not? We can use bullet points, okay? but here is how I'll do mine. Here's how I'll do mine. Bullet points is the most visible when you talk about characteristics, but you don't just want it to be plain bullet points just like that. So I'm going to color this shape light green like before. Now my bullet points are not going to be the regular bullets, but my bullet points are going to be shapes. So I think I want the cloud shape. Yeah, I want the cloud shape. So I'm going to do a little cloud here. So now here's a quick hack. So now you don't want to try to draw this cloud shape again, because you may not even get the same shape. It's going to be hard. And then copy and paste may be getting too redundant. So Control plus Shift. So if you hover your mouse here and then you click on Control and then click on Shift, you move it downwards. So it aligns it while duplicating it. Control just duplicates where you can move anywhere, but Control plus Shift doesn't just duplicate, it aligns it while duplicating. Okay, so it does that. Control plus Shift does that for us. So that's a quick hack. Control, hover your mouse over the shape, click Control, then click Shift, it duplicates it. It duplicates it. Okay, so be very careful to click on the shape you just want duplicated. Like now I've duplicated my square as well as my bullet point. So I'll be changing this to green, dark green. Okay, I like this. And then so instead of doing this one by one, you could just have done the design we want with the first one, then just duplicate the designs all over. So here, do you want us to put text in it, or we should just move on? Okay, let's just put text. Let's make a complete presentation. I think we have like 15 minutes. Okay, characteristics. I'm going to say courageous. So you can drop some of your characteristics there. I just need 4. So I have 1, courageous. Then I'll say sacrificial. Leaders sacrifice a lot, actually. Always, always, always sacrificing their time, sacrificing their money, energy, so many things. What else does a leader do? Leader, I don't want to say leads. Let me not be redundant. I say leader leads. Let's see. Leader is humble. Let's just say humble. And now, if you can see, this is not aligned. Sacrificial is not aligned. So I have to move it. You can see that red, the red that is telling me yes, it's aligned. This is how I want it. Okay. Then last but not the least, what else is a leader? What else is a leader? A leader is a risk taker. So leaders take a lot of risks as well. It's kind of similar to courageous, but I think I'm just going to put it on there. So now next, I want to talk about examples of a leader. So you say examples of a leader. So here is where you want images. Here is where you want images of leaders, examples of leaders, or let's just say well-known leaders, because we are all leaders, whether you're actually in a position of leadership or not, you're a leader because you lead yourself, you manage your time. So you're a leader. So I'm going to adopt this type of title mode. So let's just Google so we can get some images of some people. I can just Google some well-known leaders I know. Okay, I can see some people, Mother Teresa. I'm just going to go to this website. And okay, Folusho, not Fortune. It's kind of similar. I understand it's named Fortune. Or you're not Fortune, you're Folusho. Okay. Here we can see Pontiff. So I'm just going to copy that image. I'm not going to select. I'm not agreeing with these people that they are leaders. I'm just trying to make a presentation here. So I'm just going to pick them. So it's what Google says. Who Google says the leader. and we are just trying to make a presentation. Pope Francis, not Pontiff. Okay. So you might actually want a shape for this. What shape should very hard to decide. Okay. I'm just going to color this instead. I'm not drawing a shape. I'm just going to color this a light shaped color like we had before. Pope Francis. Aligned. So now who's the next leader? I'm just going to pick 3 leaders from this list. Time is running out. I have just 12 more minutes. Oh, this is an exclusive site. I can't. Okay. The other sites I can move on to. So we have Mahatma Gandhi. It's in Churchill. I wish I could have their real pictures, but I guess because of our time, I'm just going to copy and paste it like this. So you can see the way I'm copying images. I don't have to download them to my laptop. I don't have to. I can just copy and paste. So maybe I will even just take off Pope Francis' picture so that it can be the same, because I don't want Pope Francis to be like this and then I'm putting his name here. Then the rest are looking like this. So that doesn't look good enough. It looks scattered. So I want my presentation to be well put together. So I'm taking that off.
So I think that for some reason, we cannot see your screen. I think you stopped sharing at a point.
Oh, for how long has that been? Sorry, how long has that been? Okay, so I think you remember seeing the Pope Francis picture up here. So I said I'm taking that off because it's not well aligned with the rest of the designs. I don't want having a Martin Luther King design that looks like this, and Nelson Mandela that looks like this, then a Pope Francis looking like that. So I'm taking that off. So I said I'm just picking 3 leaders so we can move on. It's actually going to be a last slide, or the last slide can be quotes by leaders. So you can say quotes by these leaders, but I'm actually going to stop here because of time. I can take our questions. I have just 10 more minutes. Okay, we have just 3 slides. I wanted us to do something like, oh, someone is going to make a story of these 3 slides, or take us through this presentation. And I want to see and maybe give feedback on how the person did it. But we have just 3 slides. I don't think that's enough to go on. But yeah, why not? Why not? A leader is someone we all know. It's not something hard to talk about. So yes, we're still going to do that. So we are done here. So let's just see how that goes. So now here we are talking about fundamentals of leadership 101. Okay. Now, who is a leader? And then the characteristics of a leader. And now examples of a leader. So because of time, I won't be able to move on to the other subtitles that we did. Able to move on to the other subtitles that we did. I'm just going to stop here because of time. Okay, so who wants to take us through these 3 slides we've done? Just these 3 quick slides that we've done. Oh, so sorry. I didn't realize my camera is off my face. Sorry about that. So someone wants to take us through these 3 slides, logically talking about it and transitioning through them. or we should just move on to the question and session part, or do you want to call it a day? Or do you have personal questions you want to ask me? If you, I think we got the hang of this whole thing. We just want to maybe move on to something different than this. I don't know. Anybody?
I think maybe we could have, as the solution suggested the topic, maybe we could have Felicia do the walkthrough before we call it a day.
Okay,
Felicia,
so Felicia, we want to put you on the stage. Are you available to speak? Now just reply in the chat box if you are going for it or if you're not going for it. I don't think Felicia is even here with us.
Okay, I think it just messaged that I missed most of it. It needs to catch up on the full video. Okay, since Babatunde, do you want to maybe run us through the presentation? I think I pursued Babatunde out of the call. Anyway, since the I guess that we could get the point, and whoever is watching the replay could be able to follow through. And do you have a Twitter that we could reach out to you on? Maybe if they have questions, or LinkedIn, or is it Instagram? How can people reach out to you if they have questions and they are watching the
I'm
replay?
trying to get my LinkedIn handle. So you can link me through my email and my LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to send that in a few minutes, in a few seconds. That's what I'm trying to get across. Presentation. So does anyone else want to give feedback? Did you feel like this session is really like the topic goes with it, presenting like a pro something? Did it fall short? Was it higher? Was it just there? We have 5 more minutes, so yeah, we can have the floor.
Thank you everyone for joining today. That was an amazing presentation from Eniola. You could still reach out and check out the website. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to Eniola. If you have thoughts and all of that, she's happy to answer them. And if you're watching the replay on the YouTube channel, just drop a like or comment and follow us on social media at ECX Unilag. Thank you for joining this evening and enjoy the rest of your evening.
So I think I'm still trying to send in my how people can reach me if they want to through my LinkedIn. So you can follow me on LinkedIn. You can engage with my posts. You can send me a direct message, connect, or an email. I'll be happy to respond.
All right, thank you very much. We'll also try and add it to the YouTube description, so whoever is watching the replay can able to catch up with these links and be able to reach out to you and stuff. Thank you very much.